This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. I'm once again joined by the incredible Chu-Chen, and today's guest is the award-winning DJ, poet, author, educator, CEO, she does it all, the one and only EEVA Chang from Singapore. But before we get to our amazing interview with this incredible person in talent, an artist, here is a sneak peek at the song that she wrote for JJ Lin titled Not a One.
昨夜又梦见你叫着我的名字，你说我是山里的孩子，风中的宝贝，静静守护山林，黑暗中的精灵，眼睁睁看着相思树倒下，泪随河流向远方。哦，一样那路啊，风中的那路啊，梦里的百合花还会不会长大？妈妈的那路啊，呼唤着我，雨再大我不怕，勇敢的那路啊。昨夜又梦见你叫着我的名字，你说我是山里的孩子，风中的宝贝，静静守护山林，黑暗中的精灵，眼睁睁看着相思树倒下，泪随河流向远方。哦，一样那路啊，风中的那路啊，梦里的百合花还会不会长大？妈妈的那路啊，呼唤着我，雨再大我不怕，勇敢的那路啊。哦，一样那路啊，风中的那路啊，梦里的百合花还会不会长大？妈妈的那路啊，呼唤着我，雨再大我不怕，勇敢的那路啊，雨再大我不怕，勇敢的那路啊。
Hello, Eva, how are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm so happy. 我太高兴了。楚钱你好。
Hi,
你好，
Chu.
玉泽，你好 ，Will。
It's been a while, Chu-Chen. Eva, you are such an incredible, you're an incredible talent, but you're an incredible human, and we will get to it. I want to start from the beginning, but I just want to say up front what you've been able to do throughout your illustrious career in not only providing artists a safe place to be their best selves, but people in furthering the Chinese language, in everything that you've done it with love and light, and all the way across the globe here in New York. Your story is incredibly inspiring.
张老师非常荣幸今天能采访到您。他知道您是新加坡的一位我们知名的 DJ 主持人， 又会写诗，然后还是音乐制作人，而且是我们著名的 CEO，所以他想知道您的这么多卓著的身份和在世界上广泛的参与各种活动，以及在中文的推广和教育方面，您都做出了很多的贡献，所以他非常想在这次采访中了解您的过去、您的背景，还有您对我们艺术还有人生的一些想法。
我自己也觉得很幸运，而且很神奇，能够出现在这样的一个环境里面跟两位聊天呢，所以常常我都很感谢上帝，每次都跟我安排很多奇异之旅，所以我非常感恩。
Eva really thinks that she's really appreciate that the God or a divine power is really taking care of her, because wherever she goes and at many times she was introduced to talented people and who actually introduced her into the field and made her who she is right now.
Absolutely incredible. Well, let's start from the beginning. After your time at Fu-Jen Catholic University, you joined EVA, the Taiwan Cubs radio, and right away, you won the Golden Bell Award for Best Social Program. What was it about your time at Fu-Jen Catholic University in Taiwan where you were able to develop your skills?
他了解到您在上大学之后就立刻参与了台湾一个很重要的我们的口述的奖项，然后他想知道您在大学里面学到的一些技能，能不能跟我们分享一下？
我所有的求学生活呢，我最爱是大学生活，其他的我都觉得，好像生命当中是白白的燃烧。所以当我进入了辅仁大学大众传播系之后呢，我感觉到我自己好像被赋予能量，所以我的大学生活，我觉得它让我找到我自己，找到自己的声音，找到自己的定位，找到自己未来要走的路。所以我觉得大学生活对我来讲，虽然不像别人呢，这么精彩，可是呢，活得非常的清楚跟明白。
非常感谢您。So according to Eva, she said that college was the only time that she felt like her life was not wasted at Fu-Jen University. And she said that it allowed her to really position herself and to see herself clearly. With that, she gradually find her path for the future career that's coming. So she really appreciated what she learned during the college years.
Well, talk about career. Shortly thereafter, you were part of Singapore's first cable transmitted radio station, Rediffusion, an incredible feat for anyone in the industry, in radio industry. 7 years as executive director. Talk a little bit about your time at Rediffusion.
美香老师，他第二个问题呢是想知道，因为他知道您是第一位立得呼声呢从台湾到新加坡过来的 DJ， 所以他对您的这段经历非常好奇，能跟我们分享一下吗？
哎呀，这个就太多故事可以讲了，但是我先讲我印象很深刻的几件事情就好了。我刚到新加坡的时候呢，有些同事会告诉我说，奇怪，你为什么不去 MediaCorp 国家电台，来到这个 Rediffusion， 因为它是一个接线的 cable 的 radio station。那么在台湾，我从来没有接触过 cable 的 radio station， 就是在你家的客厅啊、厨房啊，有那些线一直接，然后有个大箱子在那儿，对我来都是前所未有的经验。可是我最终觉得那7年我还是对的，因为那是一个很接地气的这个 cable radio。然后第二件事情呢，我刚去到这个新加坡的时候很有趣，我记得那个时候有听众还写信到报纸说，哇，他声音太甜了，甜的都会得糖尿病这样子啊，因为大家都知道台湾女孩子说话就是嗲嗲的嘛哈，所以我刚去的时候也是，各位听众您好，就是还是那个台湾调子。可是你看我这样训练下来，我相信前途你一定感觉到了，我现在没有那个各位听众你好，就没有那个调调了哈，所以他们也不再得糖尿病了。不过我也觉得很好，因为他们爱上了我。 那么第三件事情呢，就是我觉得一个电台立立呼声改变我的生命，所以那是我到新加坡的第一个电台。最后这个电台结束营业，我从一个清盘的公司把它买下来，报答我第一次来新加坡能够安身立命的公司，所以我非常的感谢这样的一种经历。
哇，非常酷哎，好。So well, she would like to talk about 3 things in particular about Rediffusion. The first one, people often ask her, why did you come from a national broadcasting company to a cable company? Because at that time, Rediffusion was still a traditional cable, using the cable to broadcast. So she spent 7 years there. And that period really grounded her. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing she mentioned was sometimes audience would phone in and tell her how sweet her voice is. Coming from Taiwan, she naturally had this accent, 亲爱的观众您好. And the audience would feel like, wow, listening to her, I could get diabetes. It's just how sweet it was. And then as she gradually matured in Rediffusion, her voice changed. As you can see, the way that she's speaking now is more of a mature, very formal and calm kind of feeling that you get. And so the audience, they would joke how she had actually helped them recover from diabetes. But that's a small joke. And the third thing she mentioned was it really changed her life, because after 7 years, somehow Rediffusion went into a very difficult period, almost bankrupt. But she was able to pay what she got from the company by buying the company and actually, elongate its survival. It's basically making the company alive again. So she was really proud of that.
That's absolutely.
I don't know whether I can make it, but I try my best. It's after, I think, 15 years, not 7 years. It's 2013 or the end of 2012, I bought Rediffusion. Yes, I just want to say thank you. If don't have Rediffusion, I can't make it now. So I'm very appreciate the first company I stay in Singapore. So I love Rediffusion. The only thing I can say is like that. Yes.
That's absolutely beautiful. I just love the full circle moment of that, Eva. And I want to get to that in your acquiring Rediffusion. And shortly thereafter, your first stay at Rediffusion, in 1990, you released your first album, The Lady Who Walks Into Life. You were the first DJ in Singapore to release an album. Talk to me a little bit about that album, and talk to me about the idea behind it. How did you come up with the idea for it?
李湘老师，他下一个问题是想知道您的第一张专辑《The Woman Walking into Life》应该翻译过来是走入人生的女人，所以想知道
走入生活的小说女人
啊，走入生活的小说女人，所以想知道您在创作这个专辑背后的一些灵感故事。
其实我跟你讲啊，当初是好几个大男生，而且是每个都是帅哥。当然我那个时候也是很青春貌美的。那我们是一群好朋友聚在一起，就想说为了纪念我们的友谊，所以呢我们就在一间酒店聊到后来呢，突然说我们要一起出唱片。结果这几个大男生啊，真是不得了，讲到后来就通通都不愿意了，然后就说就是给EEVA来出好了。然后这题目是他们想的，所以你可想而知，他们觉得我是一个什么样的女人。从名字到歌曲到形象，全部他们想的。我现在回想那一阵子，我简直就是被他们摆布，有没有？因为本来讲好是一个大家一起出的纪念我们的友谊，因为只有我一个女孩子嘛。我可以告诉你，我是从年轻到大，我身边围的都是男生。所以他们讲好的，后来他们就不管我同不同意，所以我的这个唱片就出来了。
So well, it's a very interesting story. She said that how it came about. It was So when she was younger, she was a pretty girl, and she was always surrounded by.
No, I didn't say like that.
您说您
I didn't sound a pretty
你是很貌美
girl. It's okay, never mind. Yes, okay.
I think she
I am.
really had this affinity with boys, and so at that time there were several buddies of her, and they're all handsome and young. And when they get together, they want to do something like start a project to commemorate this friendship, which later turned out to be an album that's dedicated to Eva, as she was the only girl in the group. And so that's how it was born about the album. And because it has the name 小说 fiction in the album, it also kind of portrays what the boys were thinking of her, someone of a very poetic, very almost like a fiction figure coming to life.
Oh my goodness, Eva, your creativity is boundless. And from there, if you didn't, if you weren't accomplishing enough already, you went and created and wrote an award-winning prose collection called Meet by Chance. And then shortly thereafter, at Capital FM 95.8, together with the Moon program. Talk to me about that program, because you were very much lauded with this program, and you were adored by the audience.
李湘老师，他的下一个问题是想知道您在城市95.8工作的时候，应该是有一个节目是月亮 Moon
与月亮
想知道
同行。
您在这方面与月亮同行，您在这方面能跟我们分享一些经历，还有与观众一些互动吗？
这个节目可以说是改变了我跟新加坡听众的关系。因为以前的节目呢都是我说你听嘛，但是在那个年代我们创造了那个 call in， 当然对美国来讲这没什么稀奇，但是对我们新加坡相对保守的社会打电话进来讲你的家婆，讲你的先生，讲你的爱情，讲你的钱财，讲一切的秘密话语而且公开播出。那个时候呢，有的时候那个电话线都会 jam 住，你就知道有多少人打电话进来。那我们并没有请那个专家什么心理学专家来做什么生活指导就是完完全全我跟听众的对话。那其中有2个小故事说一下吧。有一个男士，他当兵的时候呢跳伞，那么他的视网膜破裂然后呢他当时是想自杀的，可是他听了我的节目，在要自杀的前一天，他听到我的节目，然后呢，他就想明天再听吧，后天再听吧，那他就这样子就过了他的为什么我知道这件事情呢？是因为10年以后还是几年以后，我在被请回同一个时段的晚间节目做特别来宾的时候，他突然打电话进来，就跟我讲起这件事情。他说如果当时没有听到我的声音，他早就已经离开这个世界了，就是因为他说的这不是我说的他太想听到我的声音了，然后听习惯了，他现在已经有孩子，有很美好的家庭。这是第一个故事。那第二个故事是我有一次汽车坏掉，那时候我已经不主持节目了，然后就有一个 taxi driver 就带着我，因为我车子拿去送厂修理嘛，我就坐计程车，然后那个司机就一直从倒后镜看我，我就心里有点害怕，怕他有什么，虽然新加坡的司机都非常好，可是我还是会有点紧张的，因为他直盯盯的一直盯着你。然后等到我要下车的时候，他突然回头，他就说他的情绪很激动，眼眶是泛红的。他说你是美香吗？美香姐吗？因为新加坡人习惯叫我美香姐。我说我是的。那你为什么不做广播了？我每天晚上都靠着你的节目打起精神，你都不做广播了。他很激动，所以当然还有好多好多这样的故事。所以我在958的时候是创造了很多跟听众美好的回忆，所以我觉得那是让我觉得非常美好的人生回忆。
感谢您。Wow, well, that was a great question. She said the experience at the Moon at 95.8 was actually something really life-changing for her. It pushed her relationship with the audience to a totally different level. And so she give this two examples. The first one being one of the audience, he called in after 10 years after he had this accident. He was a soldier and he was jumping from an airplane, but unfortunately he broke his retina and he couldn't see. And he was going to kill himself. But every night as he was listening to Eva's voice in the radio, he felt comforted. And he listened to her for 10 years. And so that's how she knew about it, because the guy called in after 10 years. And from him, he already started a loving family. He already had kids. So if it wasn't for her voice that had accompanied him, maybe we won't have, he wouldn't be able to have such, amazing life afterwards.
Wow. I mean, you were always affecting lives, Eva. I mean, not only with your listeners, but shortly thereafter in the early 90s in 1994, you founded Edu Plus, a school where you used a unique language visualization teaching method, not only in helping the students learn, but training them with an appreciation and a love of the Chinese language. A school, by the way, that has won countless awards by not only major institutions of education, but by officials all across the globe. I want to know, Eva, how the idea of EduPlus came about.
那下一个问题是想知道您在创作我们的 Edu Plus 应该是爱的伯乐这个后面的一些故事。
其实我想讲的是我每一段的转折都是上天的安排，因为我那个时候在帮我女儿找幼稚园，左看右看我都觉得那个幼稚园实在不行，因为我不希望我的孩子在教学里面非常的 traditional 传统，所以我觉得 language is so beautiful， 就是那个语言是很美好的，学习是很自由的。可是我就看了很多那种，你看这样我是一个大苹果，1、2、3齐，它不是我是一个大苹果，就是闻到味道也看到样子，所以我就觉得不行，我不能把我的孩子送到这样的 kindergarten 去，然后我就设立了一个语文学校。其实开源是我的孩子，是一个妈妈很单纯的爱这样子。
Before I translate this part of her answer, there's something that we haven't finished with her last part to the last question. So she mentioned two stories where one of the soldier was calling in, and there was another story that she was, one day her car broke down and she was taking a taxi to her destination. And inside the taxi, the driver just keeps staring at her from the rearview mirror, and she got really scared. Well, she knows that the taxi driver in Singapore are friendly, but it's just the way that he was looking at her. And finally, well, something strange happened. The driver, his eyes just welled up with tears, and he turned around. He was like, "Are you Eva?" And she said, "Yes, I am." And that was a really touching moment for her, because according to him, it's just amazing how her voice had touched so many people.
That is so amazing. So he could recognize Eva by her voice. And obviously, Eva, I know that you're going to do the translation of the last question. I apologize for cutting you off. I got so excited. But Eva, your story is so moving because you are truly a vessel. You were brought to this planet for a reason, to entertain, to inspire all of the kids in all of us, the children that live in all of us. And so before I get emotional, Chu, go ahead and finish your translation of the last question.
Yes, that was a great question, because how she started EduPlus was simply a need that came out of herself. She was trying to find a good kindergarten for her daughter. And wherever she goes, she was not satisfied by the way that they teach kids. She wanted to be more lively, more interactive, and where kids can actually sense and feel and visualize the objects that they were talking about, say if they're learning the word apple. So she was like, why don't I start something that allow the kids to learn a much better way? And that's how Edu Plus was born.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. You are such a trailblazer, Eva, and you do it with kindness. You do it with a humble nature, and you don't make it about you. You are all about the work and all about, again, spreading this love, spreading this positivity, spreading this hope of entrepreneurship and giving kids a beautiful, safe space. I'm getting emotional thinking about it, a beautiful, safe space to be their best selves. It's unbelievable. And another unbelievable accomplishment of you occurred a little bit later on, almost a decade ago, when you wrote a song for JJ Lin, Narawan. The audience got a little sneak peek of it. Talk to me about that collaboration with JJ Lin and writing that song, Narawan, and how that was for you, that whole experience.
美香老师他非常喜欢您为包括我们的孩子，还有我们的艺人也创造我们非常安全的创作空间。所以下一个问题是想知道您为我们著名的新加坡歌手林俊杰创造的《纳鲁娃》背后的一些故事。
我先说我怎么认识林俊杰的好了。那个时候他是我们海蝶歌手训练班的学生之一，所以呢，我是教他有关于我教了很多歌手的语言方面的表达方面的这个课程，所以认识了他。然后他的这个制作人许环良也是我非常年轻时代的好朋友，我的那张专辑呢，他也是其中之一的制作人，所以我们都是认识的。可是那个时候台湾有个莫拉台风，这个莫拉台风是台湾最严重的一次风灾。那因为我本身呢，你一定不敢相信，我身上没有一点汉人的血统，我是一个原住民。所以呢，我们原住民有很多的山啊、村庄啊，甚至于灭顶，就是整个部落都没有人了，一个都没有存活下来。我当时在新加坡，因为我已经是新加坡人了，我感觉到我那时候很悲哀，一种 very deep sad from my heart， 所以我就想说我要做一个什么事情，然后我就找了环良，然后正好 JJ。在新加坡，我们就在一间日本餐厅见面，我就跟他讲我要写一首歌，然后他也很热情回应我，然后我就说，他说，我问你，那鲁啊是什么意思？哦，我说那是问候，什么意思都可以啊。然后我们就开始，我就开始写了，可是呢，他比我先呢，他真的是太厉害了，他就马上把那个音乐给了我。就通过那个他的 producer 就发给我说，嘿，我还在写歌词，他就来了这个音乐了，所以我后来是根据他的这个 music 我就填了歌词，然后呢这首歌在好多的电台，尤其是中国的云南台，好像还有几周排名第一。然后很多的原住民小孩，还有很多的歌手都很喜欢唱这首歌，在中国的好多歌唱比赛里面，有好多歌手也都选唱这首歌。我纯粹就是因为想要替这个台湾的部落的人唱出莫拉台风他们的心声。我觉得好像山跟树都已经不听人类的声音了，或者是我们迫害山树太厉害了，所以我就写了这首歌。
您刚说 Naruwa， 它在原住民语是一个问候的意思。
一个问候 ，Hello， 或者是你好吗，或者是一种呼唤，calling， 它可以用在很多地方。它没有一个固定的意义，但都是美好的。
OK， 好，非常感谢。So well, so Naruwa itself in the native Taiwanese, the local natives language, it's a way of calling. It's a way to say hello and how are you, and to express one's blessing. Perhaps you can say that. And so at that time, JJ was a trainee, one of the trainees with Ocean Butterfly. And so his producer at that time, Billy Cole and Mrs. Eva, they were very good friends. In fact, Billy Cole was one of the person behind her first album. So That was also the time when Taiwan was hit really hard by the Mola hurricane. And because of the hurricane, she had seen footages of local villages being completely destroyed. She had seen houses broken down, trees fell down, and people's lives losing. And that inspired her to really want to make something to tell their story. So Billy Cole connected Eva and JJ in a Japanese restaurant in Singapore. And JJ was really interested in the idea. And quickly, he sent her this beautiful scores, this music scores. And with that, she wrote lyrics of what she wanted to say about the Mola hurricane's impact on human and how human activity had destroyed the environment. And she would like to call for everybody's attention. And this song became really popular among the native people in, say, Yunnan province in China, where a lot of minorities also resides. So that's a short intro.
That's amazing. Wow. Amazing. And talk about a full circle moment, Eva, where you began, your home, Rediffusion. In 2012, you acquired it, like you mentioned before, and you were appointed CEO. And it was with this connection that you were able to save it from closing down. And it was revamped and relaunched in the Singaporean public as an online radio channel. I guess my question for you, Eva, is, was it like coming home? Was there something within you that felt, because it was such a big part of your early career, that you felt almost, I don't want to say an obligation, but dare I say a calling to make sure that you were the vessel, that you were the one that was going to make sure that it wasn't going to go away?
Yes.
Eva老师，他的下一个问题回到了我们刚才聊到的2012年，您买下我们的 Rediffusion 的，他感觉到您是否觉得当时有一种义务，或者是更确切的说法是你感受到一种召唤，然后去完成这样人生中非常重要的一件事情？
这是一个好问题。其实我到现在为止都没有把立体呼声经营得很成功，一直在找个路要走。我花了这么长的时间，又花了无数的钱，几乎是把自己所有的积蓄都投资下去，还没有看到一个曙光。但是我的女儿给我很大的鼓励，她说：“妈妈，只要你不要把家里的房子变卖，剩下什么样都可以。”所以我还在努力，我要帮立体呼声找一条出路。其实我有很多朋友都叫我放弃了，因为他们说立体呼声喜欢他的人就是天上的宝，不喜欢他就垃圾一张一张纸。所以所谓不喜欢就是说他们觉得没有有利可图啦。但是我不这样认为的，我觉得我一定看得到这个曙光，就好像这次可以跟你们见面会面，我觉得这一切都是上帝的安排。我这个人是非常相信天命的。
非常感谢您。Well, she said that was a great question because she also asked herself this question sometimes. For her, the Rediffusion, after she had bought it, she spent so much time, energy, and her financial assets to keep it running. She had used up a lot of her savings, and success is still yet to come. She felt pressure, but she felt really encouraged by her daughter, who told her that, "Mom, don't worry. So long as you don't put our house on mortgage, you know, we can do anything to keep it running." And she had friends that on the other side told her to stop and do not waste more money on it. And she said that people who are related to Rediffusion, who are the audience, are at two extremes. On one hand, you have people who loved it to their heart, who hold it dear. On the other hand, you have those that just think that there's there's nothing that would come out of Rediffusion. Its financial value is over. So she is still trying to find her future and to redevelop Rediffusion, and perhaps to give it new life.
Well,
and that's why she feel really fortunate to have met you from FENIX360, and that could be the start of something new.
well, listen, as a FENIX360 advisor and global artist ambassador, Eva, I am so excited about the potential of a potential collaboration between FENIX360 and Rediffusion. I want to say this though before I let you go, Eva. I am so grateful for your time today. I'm so grateful that we are now connected. I'm grateful you are part of the FENIX360 family. Everything that you've done throughout your whole career, but specifically with Rediffusion, you can't put a dollar sign on an emotional connection. I can't help but think about that cab driver, the cab driver who could just tell by your voice a piece of comfort, a piece of love, a piece of hope. We need more Evas in the world to not overthink about money and how is it going to make money. I am a firm believer of this quote from the great film Field of Dreams: if you build it, they will come. And Eva, throughout your career, you have defied all of the odds. You have defied everyone that said that you couldn't. You probably had to deal with a lot of men who said, who do you think you are? You know, being a woman, doing all. You redefined what it is to be an entrepreneur and a trailblazer. And I'm beyond grateful for your time today. I'm getting choked up. Chu, I'm so grateful for you to be doing the translation. But Eva, I think about my young nieces and nephews who I cannot wait to tell about your story as well. Because again, you have a beautiful talent to activate the child in all of us. And again, I'm so excited about the potential collaboration between FENIX360 and you, Eva Chang.
Thank you very much. You give me so powerful energy. I think today's interview, I'm so appreciate about any question you ask to me, because you give me a chance to share about my experience and what I feel. So I thank you very much. I'm so appreciate we have this time to talk to each other. Thank you. Thank you.
And this is what you've done, Eva, your whole career. You've provided safe spaces for people to share their stories, to share their heartbreak, to share their triumphs. And the fact that you are so as willing to give up everything monetarily tangible to keep things moving forward. You've been thinking about legacy since you were a little girl. Again, I really believe that you were put on this planet as a beacon of hope, as a vessel of love. And your story is, I have chills. It's a story that needs to be continued to be told because of how much you've been able to do to activate and inspire so many people across the globe. So God bless you and thank you.
Thank you. Can I sing a song for both of you?
I want you to sing. I want you to sing for an hour.
No, only one song. It's because I'm not Chinese, you know. I'm not Chinese, so I sing a song for both of you.
Please.
山地歌怎么讲？原住民的歌曲怎么讲？
You want to sing a native song from the mountains? Where's she from?
Oh my gosh, please. What is the name of the song, Eva?
Not one. I think not one. Not one. Honey, not one. Inana ya Ohio. Airara shiro maro mare ya. Ni hai ya ma hai yo. Iyo in aito ni. O 玛丽，人没有用啊门啊，哦一旦都没思路门单，那路啊。Thank you.
Absolutely incredible. Chu Chen, thank you again for your translation in EEVA Chang. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.